branded. Mug's history of design. Fake. When modernism goes bad. Hi, I'm Adam Sutherland. I'm the director of Grizedale Arts, and I'm going to talk about the collection policy for the new Lawson Park building. The idea of it really is to try to reflect the local cultures here and the local different aesthetics and approaches to it. So we've kind of broken the collection up into a whole range of different things. It allows us to really almost collect anything. So just show you a few things. This, for example, is a piece that comes under the heading of branded. So the collection in this instance is anything that has a local brand. So a brand that's basically used to market it. In this case, quite hard to see, but it says Windermere here. So this is branded, and we have a little dry stone wall around it, rather attractively, and a kind of faux 18th century landscape. In fact, this is probably 1930s, 1940s. Pretty anonymous piece of pottery from Stoke-on-Trent. So another heading for the collection is looking at a history of design reflected in a very domestic way through mugs. Really sort of earliest ones would be medieval tankards, and then basically reinvented in the sort of 30s, 40s. Here's an example. This example probably fits within a number of different collections, because this is actually Keswick School of Industrial Arts, so it would be branded. It would also probably sit quite comfortably in one of the other headings, which is when modernism goes bad. So this is probably 1910 or something like that. It was a school set up in Keswick by Canon Rawlinson, who was a disciple of Ruskin, as many of these objects have a connection to Ruskin. So there are multiple kind of connections locally with this. It's hand-beaten copper, so it's craft, and it would come into, this would be, what collection is this actually in? This one could be the Mug's History of Design, in fact. It's a pretty hideous thing. There's the which way? Keswick School of Industrial Art, KSIA. So this would also be another example from Mug's History of Design, the world's best Grandma, which was designed by John Clappenson for Hornsey Pottery. And Hornsey Pottery produced early designs for Clappenson were very modernist, and you can still sort of see a hint of modernism in this. This was the kind of staple diet of the factory in the 70s, and what they really made a lot of money. And they kind of invented this best world's whatever type comedy mug, I think probably most loosely be called. And in a way, this is kind of when mugs started to get very domestic, and steaming hot mugs of chocolate and TV and curled up on a sofa and all those kind of domestic ideas about safety and security. So as interesting object. This piece would be under When Modernism Goes Bad, and it kind of epitomises the collection. It's actually designed by Gerald Benny, who was a silversmith in the 50s through. He died fairly recently. In fact, his son continues the silversmith company called Benny. Rather unfortunate name, I think. But he's a sort of high-quality goldsmith, silversmith. I think he was also director of at the Royal College of Design. This particular object is probably from the late 60s, and interestingly has a design on it which is basically a Christopher Dresser design. So we've got a quite strange fusion here. The kind of inventor in some people's minds of modernism, Christopher Dresser, sort of spoiling what would be a purist modernist steel tray in many ways, so kind of combination. And the last collection is fake, which kind of covers everything from fake look to actual fakes. It allows us to collect things that we probably wouldn't otherwise be able to afford by buying copies or fakes of them, or making fakes of them. In fact, this is an original. This is Whitefriars Glass, with a very interesting company that ran through from the Georgian era through to 1980, I think it finally closed down, and was very much at the forefront of design throughout its history, really, particularly in the arts and crafts movement, where they worked with all the important arts and crafts designers. And this designer, who actually joined the company in the 60s, is Geoffrey Baxter, and the fake quality here is this pseudo wood finish, which was very characteristic of a lot of his work.